We're hitting ISIL harder than ever in Syria and Iraq. We are taking out their leaders. Our partners on the ground are fighting to push ISIL back, and ISIL has been losing territory.
This administration has doubled down on its indecisive approach to ISIL, using limited means and indirect ways to achieve aspirational ends on a non-existent timeline. The administration now admits we're at war with ISIL. Oh, wonderful. But proceeds at every turn to minimize any American role in fighting and winning that war.
Well, from the Oval Office to the Pentagon, today at the National Counterterrorism Center, President Obama trying to calm the nation about ISIS and what's being done about ISIS. But there you see the critics up on Capitol Hill. Talk about that, plus testimony today. Let's bring in our panel tonight. Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. We welcome David Gregory, former moderator of NBC's Meet the Press and author of the book, How's Your Faith?, which is one to look at. That's a good read. Syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. I won't mention your book. We do it all the time. How about that? David, let me start with you.
It's still out
It's still out there, I know.
It's still doing well.
What about the president and this repeated effort in different venues to calm the nation?
Well, look, I think his message was a good one today, but he's certainly playing from behind. I mean, I think there's a level of resolve, there's a level of effort to relieve anxiety and to communicate the toughness that people want to see, and I think he's been slow to do that. And I think it's also hard when you're trying to take a measured approach. You heard Senator McCain. People are scared. They want decisive action. It's a complicated problem and strategy. But again, when you're playing from behind, when you've underestimated a lot of the threat, it does little to soothe people.
Yeah. I mean, the criticism is not saying anything new,
right.
Judge. He's
right.
not moving the ball, changing the strategy.
Right. I am happy to be here with my friend David, but about the only thing I agree with him on is that this is a complicated issue. The president does not present any strength. The president does not present any strategy. The president does not present any comfort. Every time he gives one of these speeches, the situation stays the same or gets worse. I mean, the situation of the fear that Americans have. John McCain, even though he's being a little sarcastic on the floor of the Senate, resonated, in my view, with a lot more Americans than Barack Obama did.
But
today.
you know, John McCain wants to see troops on the ground in Syria. He wants to see more military action. From your point of view, which I know you don't want that, what do you want to hear the president say?
I don't want it, and I don't think there's a consensus amongst the American public for boots on the ground. And I don't want American boots on the ground unless and until there is a consensus and a declaration of war, meaning there is a popular consensus for that. But I do want it to say something with more specificity rather than the same old, the same old.
I want to listen to a little of this testimony up on Capitol Hill, that ISIS attempting to enter the U.S. through refugee programs. Last year, nearly 120 Syrian nationals overstayed, and some are now subject to federal inquiries. Take a listen.
We got millions and millions of people that are out there that want to come into this country, and we're doing a very small bit. We don't even look at their public stuff. That's what kills me. DHS doesn't even regularly require that their administration offices for people coming. We don't even look at their public stuff.
To be clear, we are moving both in the refugee and other immigration contexts. We have been doing some of it. We're working
you got
to
three
develop
very
more
small
of it.
pilot programs going, and look, we've talked to the folks overseas about what they're doing, and it's not regular, it's not routine, it's not widespread.
It's not comforting.
But it's also incomprehensible. The idea that we're now starting up a couple of pilot programs on what the American people understand and is so obvious to do. You simply give a directive that where you think it's appropriate, you allow any immigration officer to investigate the postings on public media. The argument against it, which apparently prevailed a few years ago within DHS, is ridiculous. Number one, it is that we don't want to invade their privacy. Well, it's absurd to say that looking at a public posting is an invasion of privacy. And it's doubly absurd if that's done in the case of a non-American outside the country who possesses zero constitutional rights.
I think Look, this gets harder. You're talking about American citizens who radicalize here. I mean, it is hard to find these people if they want to commit an act of violence. So it's all the more important to use any potential trigger for that radicalization. I mean, it's like you wouldn't look at the manifesto of the Unabomber. I mean, these are public pronouncements, and if they are hateful public pronouncements, you got to look at them. But you have to look at them in the broader mosaic of what would cause a trigger for any kind of profile of a terrorist, and not simply put in place mechanisms that are about soothing public anxiety. We can't be in the business of government doing just that, because it is complicated.
Yes, you're right. We can't do that just to soothe public anxiety. But Charles is correct. There's absolutely no legal or constitutional prohibition whatsoever, even from my point of view, from looking at that which is already public. In terms of looking at that which is private, there's a very easy solution. Want to come into the country, waive your right to privacy, and give us your cell phone. We'll give it right back to you. You don't want to give us a cell phone, you don't want to waive your right to privacy, you're on your way back.
And he's a libertarian.
I mean, this is, you heard it here first.